Just 3 months and 12 games left to go here in our first season in the Championship, and we are currently losing ground on Bournemouth and Sheffield United in those automatic promotion places. We'll try and regain some of that ground in episode 61 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC24. Let's get into it. So 3 games to get to in today's episode. They are all very, very important games. Every point counts at this stage of the season. So we have a away game against Stoke City, which we are going to be quick simming. We are then going to take on West Bromwich Albion at home. That will be the game that we play in today's episode. And then Bristol City will be the third game that we take on in this episode. And that will be the one, another that we quick sim. That is away from home. We do have a nice big break between Stoke and West Brom, so I feel comfortable sending out the strongest 11. We are going to try the 3-1-4-2. It's not performed that well in simulation, so that might be something we need to think about going forward. Although it might be a useful system to use when we are playing the games in a quick sim, it might not perform quite as well. It gets the job done today, though, and Samson Tavide again gets the job done. He came up clutch in the last couple of episodes, scoring some big goals, trying to fill the boots of Daniel Jefferson. And oh my days, I'm not sure if you saw that, but Sheffield United smashed Bournemouth 5-0. So we were certain that Bournemouth were going to win the league. However, 5-0 against Sheffield United. Sheffield United are going to gain ground on Bournemouth, and they might have just proved there that they're not only just as good as Bournemouth, but even better. 5-0 is an incredible result.
Thank you for answering the questions.
So we eke out a 1-0 win against Stoke City. Samson Tavide scoring the goal. And yeah, Sheffield United could overtake Bournemouth in first place with a win in their game in hand. We are currently on 70 points as well. So the top 3... The gap between each of those teams is really starting to narrow. We're just 5 points behind Bournemouth now. We're just 3 points behind Sheffield United, but Sheffield United do have that game in hand. Let's assume Sheffield United win that. That would make it Sheffield United 76 in first, Bournemouth second on 75, and then us in third on 70. So big game against West Bromwich Albion here. I want to play this game because they are fellow promotion rivals. Lewis Baker unhappy with the games that he's playing. He was just brought in for 1 year. He was never a long-term option at this club, and he was just brought in for the depth. So yeah, West Brom are a fellow promotion rival, and I think it's going to be our toughest test. So I will put Lewis Baker on the bench. I'm not starting him. This game is too important to not start our best 11, and this is our best 11. So that's the side that's going to run out there against West Bromwich Albion. I'm hoping that we have a press conference to jump into as well, which luckily we do. So these press conferences are really good for boosting team morale. And as you could see there, team morale is only content at the moment. So really could do with a way of getting that a little higher. And we have already bumped it up to happy. So these answers, what the manager says in these press conferences for some reason is just so important to the team in FC24. So let's check out the pre-match report for West Brom as well. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. Couple of important players. Looks like a relatively strong back four. Josh Madger up front. They've got Swift in the number 10. Diang should probably... Diang Garner, that is, isn't it? On the left-hand side. Will probably be fairly dangerous. They're on a decent run of form as well. 3 wins out of the last 5 and only 1 loss. A 3.5-star team. They're going to gegenpress, which could make it difficult for us. We haven't really come up against a high-pressing team with this new 3-1-4-2 system. So that's going to have to be something that we are wary of and that we keep an eye on early. If West Brom are pressing high and causing us some problems, maybe we drop back into that flat 5-4-1 and try and just be a little more solid, a little more robust defensively. But we'll see how it does, the new system, in the first half here against West Brom. Potentially, if we can dominate possession and impose ourselves on the game, then we can, you know, neutralise their high pressing a little bit. We keep the ball in their half, they can't really press us high up the field. So Samson Tavide, Josh Sargent, both up front again today. They are pretty much the only two senior strikers we have. We did, of course, bring Freddie Gardner in from Sheffield United, as we sold Daniel Jebison. However, not really a senior player. He's young, he's low rated. Can't really trust him at such a big stage of the season. I've overrun that with Bali Mumba. However, Josh Sargent and Samson Tavide both doing their part to fill the role, to fill the boots of the departed Daniel Jebison. Made him sound like he was dead then, didn't I? The departed Daniel Jebison. He's not dead, he's just in Sheffield, I promise. But big boots to fill for sure. And Tavide, Sargent both coming up with a number of goals in the last few games that are going some way to fill those boots. And we are already exposed down the West Bromwich left. That's a great challenge from Josh Key, though. Caleb Taylor's just going to have to clear, which he does. He's put it out for a throw-in, which is fine. We were left exposed there. I think those kind of areas wouldn't be open with a flat 5-4-1. So, as I said earlier, we might need to look at switching up systems depending on how this game progresses. That's a hand in there for sure from Jesse Cartwright. He's made a fantastic save. Potentially Jesse Cartwright should be our new number one. We were struggling to decide between Nathan Baxter and Roman Hewitt. Jesse Cartwright's made a great save there. And again, we're exposed down this left-hand side. Matthew Garbutt is this time, but he's too slow to clear. Needs to be quicker than that. And we're under some real pressure early here. Good challenge, Matthew Garbutt. And Caleb Taylor just releases Josh Key. We'll see if we can break. Matthew Garbutt's just standing there watching it happening. It's not... You can break forward as well, Matthew Garbutt. You know, you don't just have to stand and watch. You are allowed to play. It was Garbutt that made the good challenge to initiate the break there, and he just stood and watched. Josh Key needed him in support. While remember in some space, there's nobody really in the box, but the cross fortunately bounces off a West Bromwich player and out for a corner, so... probably the best result that we could have hoped for there, to be honest. Great ball in, and Josh Sargent is in there. What a save from the goalkeeper. Just managed to get a strong hand on it. Difficult to see, really, where he even parried that. There were a lot of bodies in the area. And he didn't really parry it away. He kind of parried it in amongst the bodies. Josh Sargent in there again, challenging for Josh Key's cross. Josh Sargent's so dangerous in the air. Really good option at corner kicks. Oh, and there's a miscommunication there between Jesse Cartwright and Bali Mumba. Cartwright expected Mumba to go outside, but Cartwright played the ball. But Mumba went inside. Good save, Nathan Baxter. He's got to get back up, and he does. He punches clear. Alex Lowry is going to find the ball at his feet, but it's going to be pressed by Josh Madjo, who has actually picked up an injury I did just see a moment ago. Really good start to the game. Has been opportunities at both ends. That's a poor pass, Matthew Garbutt. He's not had a good start to the game. He made that really good intervention on the edge of the box a few moments ago, but He's not been good with the ball at his feet so far. And Josh Key's been down on the left-hand side here as well. Ashworth is presenting some real problems for our right back. And Dean Garner is this time. He was the player that we picked out before the game that we thought could be an issue. Good defending from Josh Key. And the referee's given a foul. How on earth can that be a foul? Matthew Garbutt shaking his head as well. I'm not surprised. That was a fantastic challenge. It was shoulder to shoulder. Just ease him off the ball. And the referee, for some reason, has given a free kick. Don't agree with that one at all. It's in a dangerous position for West Brom as well. If they score from this, I think we can feel really hard done by. Good challenge, Josh Key, just nicking the ball away there. There's nobody up in support though. Josh Key just runs it out of play. What an awful touch. Horrible, horrible close control. Josh Sargent pressing Samson Tavide doing the same. Can't force West Brom into a mistake though. It's West Brom who have had all the possession early really. And Josh Key is just going to have to put the ball out of play there. But Greaser actually manages to keep it in. I was trying to play a pass across. And I'm just getting red. I was trying to play a pass across the back line there. And then two West Brom players just came out of nowhere to take that option away. I just had to kind of pull the pass away. I was intended to just put it out for a throw-in rather than gift it to West Brom on the edge of the box. Actually looked like it was going out for a corner rather than a throw-in, but Greaser actually does well to keep it, and in the end we just smashed the ball away with Caleb Taylor. We can't seem to keep hold of the ball at all at the moment. I think I'm going to switch into our defensive game plan. I don't like to do that so early in the game, just half an hour in. And already we're setting up defensively, but we just can't get hold of the ball at the moment. West Brom causing us real issues down the flanks. And it will be those flanks that we strengthen if we do drop into this defensive game plan. So just looking to shore up against Ashworth, Dean Garner, by dropping Lowry or by dropping Mumba and Key back to those fullback roles and then bringing Lowry and Sargent into the wide midfield roles to help them out. Pace. Thomas Asante down this right-hand side now. Caleb Taylor does well to clear. Matthew Garbutt's going to have to challenge, and he does really well as well. Samson Tavide headers the ball, but bounces off a West Brom player, and we're going to have to get out to him. Great block from Jesse Cartwright. We do need to address the team height on this defensive game plan, because we sit far too deep. We just allow shots from the edge of the penalty area. Great goalkeeping. We need to address his team height. I notice it every time we go into and we're set to drop back and counter-attack. That'll be why. I wasn't aware that I was on counter-attack on just the defensive game plan. I certainly don't want it on counter-attack. I think we'll just go on balanced. And I don't want to press really high, but I also don't just want to sit inside the penalty area. So we'll sit back a little deeper. Our team height is in the 70s on our default game plan. And so we'll drop it back to the 50s. It's just defensive. It's not ultra defensive, you know. It's not like we need to completely turtle up and just try and see the game out at this stage. We do still want to try and attack. We do still want to try and press and win the ball back and things like that. It's just we can't be quite as aggressive. Well, no, I've left that completely open with Caleb Taylor. I dragged him out of position. That was my fault. West Brom continuing to press high. We said we were going to try and neuter their gegenpress. It's not worked out that way at all, and we just keep gifting them the ball back. It's causing us real issues at the moment. Jamie Shackleton does well to avoid the West Brom pressure there, and Jesse Cartwright comes away with it. Releases the ball to Matthew Garbutt. Josh Sargent with a good run in behind, and Matthew Garbutt's found him. Josh Sargent nice and strong, strikes at goal. Just took a little bit too long to get the shot off there though. Allowed the West Brom defender to come back across and narrow that angle. Needed to take that shot on a little bit earlier and fire it across goal. Samson Tavide lays it off to Taylor on the edge of the box. Strikes towards goal, blocked by a West Brom player. Hit by Josh Sargent as well. Alex Lowry loses the ball in midfield. Alex Lowry's been a real disappointment for me. I had really high hopes when we brought him in from Rangers. 5 different play styles. He wasn't the highest rated player. Great challenge back, Reesa. That's a goal kick. He wasn't the highest rated player. About a 73, I think, when we brought him in. But he had 5 play styles. I really thought they were going to make an impact on the game. You hardly ever see them. And again, we just give the ball back to West Brom. Jamie Shackleton just running the ball directly into a West Brom player. I think I'm a little too trigger happy with the sprint. I get a little bit of space. I feel like I have to sprint into it. And then I end up just taking a heavy touch. Oh, Samson Tavide releases Josh Sargent, puts the ball into the box. Matthew Garbutt brings it down on the edge of the box, does really well to bring that under control. Josh Sargent into Samson Tavide this time. He's just going to have to hit it across goal into the side net and couldn't wrap his right foot around it. Did the right thing there, just played Samson Tavide in, tried to hit it across the goalkeeper, but he's fallen away to his right-hand side there. It is his weaker foot as well, just couldn't wrap it around the shot. So 0-0 at half-time. West Brom have caused us real problems in that first half. I think we've struggled more against West Brom there than we have against the team for quite a long time. They've pressed really high. We have defended well in our own penalty area, which has probably been the difference in the first half there. We could easily have found ourselves behind at half-time. 57% possession. I was actually expecting to see it a little higher than that. They do have more passes attempted than us as well. We actually have more shots, but all of them were half chances, really. And like I said, we have defended well in our own penalty area, and that's what's prevented West Brom from generating too many opportunities, really, despite the amount of possession that they've had, and despite the problems that they've caused us with their press. And that's not a foul, no? I think we're going to stick with the 5-4-1 in the second half. We definitely look better in this system than we do with the 3 at the back. That was causing us far too many issues, the 3 at the back. Too much space in behind. And we do look more solid, more compact with the 5 and the flat bank of 4 in midfield. Nice little turn from Josh Key. Matthew Garbutt's going to have to make a run somewhere to open up a bit of space. Josh Key runs outside him. Samson Tavide's in the box, but he would have been offside. Alex Lowry's trying to cause an issue. Samson Tavide picks it up. Surrounded by 3 West Brom players immediately. They've done a really good job of that, West Brom. Winning the ball back immediately after losing it. We've been able to hit them on the quick counter a couple of times, but outside of that, we've not really been able to create many opportunities. I think each of the opportunities that we've created so far has been from a quick counter like this one. Alex Lowry into Samson Tavide, couldn't quite get to the ball to get a shot off before the West Brom player could come across and deal with it. Oh, Josh Sargent nicks it away. Samson Tavide towards the near post. Can't quite take it down. I was in two minds there. Should I try and header it? I was only just inside the penalty area, though. It would have been a header from some distance. Tried to take it down instead. And it just bounces off the shoulder of Samson Tavide and away to safety. We get a good look at Alex Lowry on the left-hand side here in this defensive setup as well. We did bring him in just as a straight centre midfielder, but he is technically listed as a cam, and he does have left wing as one of his secondary positions as well. Not really played him wide until this tactical change, though. So it'll be interesting to see how he does there. Potentially, we haven't seen the best of Alex Lowry simply because we're playing him out of position. Josh Sargent just has to dig out a clearance, but it's inviting pressure. What an intervention that is by Jesse Cartwright. And again, I've done the same thing. I see space, I have to sprint into it, and then I end up taking a heavy touch and running directly into a West Brom player. We had another quick break on there. We could have created an opportunity. Just a little too eager with Bali Mumba to get up the field. Oh, and West Brom are in down that left-hand side. Bali Mumba takes it under control. Thomas Asante is there, though. Bali Mumba really unfortunate not to get the ball back. Burke Rieser intercepts and clears. One other thing I've noticed that I need to work on as well is tackling. I get frustrated not being able to win back the ball sometimes, but I rely too heavily on the new, basically the new stand tackle, new shoulder tackle, I think. Technically they're calling it with the A button. A on Xbox, obviously, it would be the X on PlayStation. But it's not always appropriate to use that particular type of tackle. Sometimes you do just need to use the old stand tackle. And I've kind of moved away from that completely. So I think some of the times I've been frustrated when I can't win the ball back, it's because I need a stand tackle rather than a shoulder tackle. Diangana comes off. He's not made quite as much of an impact on the game as I would have expected. Big switch of play from Shackleton over to Sargent. Sargent turns away from Ashworth. Samson Tavide's in the box. Instead, it almost falls to Matthew Garbutt. West Brom have made some changes. I think we're going to have to consider some changes shortly as well. Nice little attempted pass there around the corner to Samson Tavide, but it was well cut out by West Brom. Just trying to think how we can make a difference in the game off the bench. Alex Petit potentially can come on this left-hand side for Alex Lowry, who again has failed to impact the game really. Might move Alex Lowry back into the centre of midfield and bring Matthew Garbutt off. Again, he's failed to impact the game as well. Might be a little harsh to bring him off rather than Lowry. It's probably been better, to be fair. Really good feet from Bali Mumba, and we need to fill into the box now. Samson Tavide again trying to bring it down. That's another problem with this defensive game plan. We have our players in the box set much lower, so in those situations when we do get the ball, there aren't as many options to aim for with the cross. Good pressing. Josh Sargent wins it back. Jamie Shackleton can't find Matthew Garbutt. Good intervention from Shackleton, though. Nice little chip pass over towards Burke Rieser. Jesse Cartwright takes it on himself to pick it up instead, though, and plays a really nice ball into Shackleton. Lowry picks up the ball and again is immediately surrounded by West Brom players. Can't carve out any space for himself or to release the ball to another Redmont player. I really don't want to lose this game. Interesting cross from Thomas Asante. Josh Sargent collects and releases Josh Key. Again, there's nobody up with him. Just tries to switch the play to Alex Lowry, who actually wins the header, and Jamie Shackleton is going to chase in behind here. Might put Josh Sargent up front as well. Might make a difference in the game. I think we're going to have to make a triple substitution when we get the opportunity. It's Caleb Taylor against his old club, I believe, as well. I think we bought him from West Brom. Not a massive revenge game. Had Caleb Taylor for a while, and not sure how much of a role he played for West Brom when he was there. Not defending particularly well here. Oh, and Josh Key has lunged in with the challenge, and he's completely missed the ball. Bali Mumba does just enough at the back post. Alex Lowry comes away with it. Jamie Shackleton can't pick up the ball. He does well to get it on the second attempt, though. No one to release the ball to. Does really well to wriggle out of danger, though, Jamie Shackleton. And Josh Key is now free on the right-hand side. Josh Sargent trying to get in behind. It's a Redmont Rangers throw-in. We haven't made any changes yet, and it's now the 80th minute. Josh Sargent is going to go up front. Brendan Clark is going to come on the right. Alex Petit is going to come on the left. Lewis Baker is going to come on in midfield. Those are going to be the changes that we make. We are going to stick with the defensive game plan, though. Jed Wallace, a really good player coming on. I don't want West Brom to gain any ground on us. I would be a little disappointed with the draw here, because obviously we are trying to gain on Sheffield United and Bournemouth. However, I would rather West Brom just didn't gain any ground on us. So a draw would be an acceptable result, particularly after we won in the first game of the episode. And for that reason, I'm not going to go back to the 3-1-4-2. Just going to try and nab something late here. We can get one of those quick counter-attacks to finally come off. Potentially we can nick all 3 points from West Brom. It's not looking likely, though. Well into the last 10 minutes, and actually the last 5 minutes of the game here. We do get a free kick, though. Bali Mumba doing well to win it there. He's such a good player, Bali Mumba. He's so good going forward, but so good defensively as well. He's very small, but he's actually surprisingly strong. For somebody of his stature. And Josh Sargent nicks the ball away. Brendan Clark is free on the right-hand side. Josh Sargent does well to find him. Brendan Clark squares it. Josh Sargent to Lewis Baker. He's not the player we would want with the ball at his feet in this opportunity. Good block from West Brom at the end. That was probably the best chance of the game. Maybe for either team. I thought the ball was dropping to Matthew Garbutt's feet there. And actually it was the West Brom player who took possession. Brendan Clark lays it off to Matthew Garbutt. Alex Petit in the box. Brendan Clark there as well. Again, we can't force the ball into one last opportunity. I think the one that we just had with Lewis Baker is going to be the last one of the game. Josh Sargent doing his best to carve out one more, though. Handball there. Handball there from West Brom. Maybe an opportunity to carve out one last opportunity if we can get the ball up the field early. Alex Petit into Lewis Baker, who just manages to take control of the ball. The West Brom player all over him, though. How do we not get a free kick there? How do we not get a free kick there? He's hacking at Lewis Baker's ankles from behind. And it is just a draw. It's not the worst possible result. But 3 points obviously would have been preferable. I mean, it goes without saying, really, doesn't it? But at this stage of the season, every point you can get is crucial. And those two dropped might come back to haunt us. It's tough to say that it was 2 points dropped, though. West Brom were very good. They caused us real issues in the game. They had 62% possession, far more passes attempted than us. Only 10 shots total. So, I mean, tough to say it's 2 points dropped when those are the stats. When West Brom was so dominant in possession of the ball. So good with their high press. We're not giving anything away, though. We are doing our best to, you know, hold on and really try and keep ourselves in the race. We're not quite getting over the line at the moment, but 9 games unbeaten. We would like more of those to be wins rather than draws. We take a look at last month. I mean, we had a win against Coventry, a win against Portsmouth, Swansea, Millwall, Bolton, Middlesbrough. 4 draws in a row. And then we beat Bournemouth, a big result. Beat Stoke. Drew with West Brom. So we've got 9 games unbeaten, 4 of which are wins. If just 1 or 2 of those draws are wins, I think we're in such a good position. Got a couple of goalkeepers to look at. Joel Andrews was somebody who looked really, really good. Just 23 years old. 75 overall. A Preston player. Potentially come through their youth academy. He looks really good. Angus Gunn, I thought I'd check him out. He is 31 years old. So if he was a particularly high overall, potentially we would have looked to sign him. But only 77 overall. Not that high. A couple of strikers in here as well to look at. And a CDM. Luke O'Connell actually looks better than I would have thought. Defending is only a 67 though. He's more of a playmaker, more of a passer. And you can tell that from his play styles as well. So a CDM, but kind of a playmaking CDM. I will add him to the shortlist. He does look interesting at the very least. I would like a particularly good defensive midfielder though. A guy who can put in a challenge. High defending, high physical is what I'm looking for. Probably not much of an upgrade over Nathan Baxter there. Lewis Baker wants to talk about his contract. I don't really want to talk about it though, Lewis. That's the problem. I did just give him a 1-year deal when we brought him in as a free agent. And it was just basically to provide a little bit of depth. We have got our morale up to happy now, which is good. I'm not going to check the table just yet. What I want to do is simulate this game against Bristol City. And then we will check the table after that. Again, we're going to run out with the same 11. And we get yet another draw. So again, we don't lose. We're still unbeaten. West Brom also draw. Another 0-0 for them. As well as for us. So 10 games unbeaten now. But it's just another point. A point isn't enough at this stage of the season. With the way that Bournemouth and Sheffield United are playing, a point just isn't enough.
Thank you for answering the question.
And I think we're going to see as we look at the table here that we are going to have to resign ourselves to a playoff place. I don't think we're getting automatic this season. I think we're too far off the pace. And yet Bournemouth have obviously won some of their games because they've gone 9 points ahead of us. And they've played the same number of games. Sheffield United have 2 games in hand on us now and they're 4 points ahead. So they could be 10 points ahead of us when all is said and done. So I think we're going to have to resign ourselves to a playoff place. I mean, it's certainly not the worst outcome. It wouldn't be the worst outcome. We've got 8 games to play. We are 10 points ahead of Luton Town in 7th place. So I think a playoff place certainly is where we're going to finish. It's just which playoff place we're going to finish in. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, to be honest. I'd like to avoid West Brom based on that performance. But I think too many draws, not enough wins is really going to cost us. So let's take a look at the calendar and see what we are going to come across in the next episode. It's Cardiff at home, it's Hull City away, and then it's Sunderland at home. So a run of 3 fairly easy fixtures. Blackburn, Huddersfield, Plymouth after that. We've got 6 games in a row, 2 straight episodes, where we should be going into every single game expecting to win. So I guess maybe it's not over yet. Birmingham, Barnsley, Watford. This is really, actually, looking at this run in, it's a really, really easy run of fixtures. So I guess there's still an outside chance of an automatic promotion place. I'm not liking our chances at the moment, but we do have a kind run of fixtures at the very least. So we'll look to take on 3 more teams in the next episode. Look to get some points on the board. And I hope to see you there. Take it easy.